Hello everyone and welcome to Talking Class with Rolandish. I'm Matt, and in this video I'm going to break down the 4 subclasses of the Paladin class for D&D's 5.5 edition, or the 2024 Player's Handbook. If you haven't done so already, check out our Talking Class playlist. There you're going to find a breakdown of all features levels 1 through 20 for each class, and a separate video like this one breaking down the features of each subclass offered for your Player's Handbook. You're looking to build a Paladin, so let's jump right into these subclasses. These subclasses have a very specific word in them, oath, and that is really important when playing this class. In the video where we break down the benefits levels 1 through 20 for all Paladins, I talked a little bit about it there, where your oath is your bond to this type of character, and it should help guide your behavior accordingly. If you break your oath, you run the risk of losing your subclass or becoming an oath breaker. These are options that your dungeon master will know about. So if you do end up breaking an oath, your DM will let you know, and you'll have to work out the consequences together. So keep that in mind as we look through the subclasses, starting with the Oath of Devotion. These are going to be the White Knights, the Knights in Shining Armor, the ones who are going to protect the weak and innocent. So if you want to take this class, the tenets that you should follow in your roleplay are to let your word be your promise. Protect the weak and never fear to act. Reckless abandon in the sake of protection. That's what that means. Let your honorable deeds be the example. So maybe this is a little bit on the do-gooder side, but you need to follow that in your roleplay. Otherwise, you risk breaking your oath. At level 3, you gain access to your Oath of Devotion spells. All of these will be always prepared and will not count against the number of spells that you yourself are allowed to prepare. Starting at level 3, you get Protection from Good and Evil and Shield of Faith. At level 5, Aid and Zone of Truth. At level 9, Beacon of Hope and Dispel Magic. At level 13, Freedom of Movement and Guardian of Faith. And at level 17, Commune and Flame Strike. Take a look at those in your physical player's handbook. It will be in spell descriptions. In your virtual player's handbook, like mine, you can just scroll your mouse over the spells and it'll give you what it is. All of these are pretty good options, and as a paladin myself, I find myself using the spells of my subclass frequently, so I feel like these were all good choices. Also at level 3, you get Sacred Weapon. When you take the attack action, you can expend a use of your Channel Divinity to make that weapon a little stronger. So for 10 minutes, or until you use this feature again, you can add your charisma modifier to the attack rolls you make with this sacred weapon. And each time you hit with it, you can do the normal damage or change it to radiant damage. In addition, this weapon is going to shine bright light with in a 20-foot radius and dim light in 20 feet beyond that. You can end this effect early, no action required. The effect also ends if you aren't carrying this weapon, so don't get disarmed. This is great because your Channel Divinity, you always start with one option and 2 uses of it, and as you grow, more options will become available to you, as will more uses. This is the introduction of what those other options might be. So Sacred Weapon is pretty good. It will just cost you that Channel Divinity. Next, at level 7, the Aura of Devotion. Now remember, at level 6, all Paladins gain access to their Aura of Protection. And at level 6, this 10-foot aura, of which you're at the center, you and your allies gain a bonus to saving throws equal to your Charisma modifier. So here, a level later at level 7, this is going to grow in your subclass. You and your allies in your aura will also be immune to the charmed condition. And if any ally enters your aura that is charmed already, that effect will end on them. That's pretty important. And for you non-paladins out there, if there's a paladin in your party, go stand near them. At level 15, you get the Smite of Protection. This means anytime you cast Divine Smite on your weapon, it's the Paladin's calling card. It's 2d8 radiant damage in addition to your weapon damage when you use that spell. But whenever you cast it, you and your allies will have half cover. So those in your aura and you, half cover is +2 to your armor class and +2 to your dexterity saving throws. So that's pretty nice to have while in this aura. At level 20, you become the Holy Nimbus. This means as a bonus action, you can imbue your Aura of Protection with benefits that'll last for 10 minutes or until you end them. No action required there. Once you use this feature, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest, or you can replenish it by burning one of your 5th level spell slots, of which you don't have many. I think you only have 2. So here are the benefits though. Holy Ward, you have advantage on any saving throw that you're forced to make by a fiend or undead. Radiant damage. Whenever an enemy starts its turn in your aura, that creature takes radiant damage equal to your charisma modifier plus your proficiency bonus. It's not a ton, right, at level 20, but I'll take any damage I can dish out, especially for you just standing next to me. I love that. I wish I could do that in real life. Sunlight. The aura is filled with bright light that is sunlight. Bright light is just like daylight. It's like a standing with a torch. You can see clearly around you. But this specifically says bright light that is sunlight. And that's important because if you are fighting some undead, there are creatures that have they're averse to sunlight, so they're vulnerable in sunlight. So the fact that you can just radiate this and affect such creatures is pretty awesome. Okay, on to the Oath of Glory. This is the type of paladin that is going to be the champion, the hero, the folk hero in town. That's you. The tenets for you are to endeavor to be known by your deeds. Everyone loves you. Oh, they're awesome. That's what you want. You want them talking about you in a positive light. You face hardships with courage. You inspire others to strive for glory. Maybe you see a beggar on the street. You give them a little coin. You give them a loaf of bread. And then you inspire them with your words. You would take the time to do something like that, especially in a place you care about. So these are some ideas to consider while you're role playing. Stick to these tenets, or you may break your oath. At level 3, you gain Inspiring Smite. This means after you cast Divine Smite, you can expend 1 use of your Channel Divinity to distribute temporary hit points to creatures of your choice within 30 feet of yourself, which can include you. The total number of hit points equals 2d8 plus your Paladin level, so here at level 3 it's 3, divided among the chosen creatures however you like. They're not each going to get this. You're going to divide that pool amongst you. Also, at level 3, you gain access to your Oath of Glory spells. At level 3, it's Guiding Bolt and Heroism. At level 5, Enhance Ability and Magic Weapon. At level 9, Haste and Protection from Energy. At level 13, Compulsion and Freedom of Movement. At level 17, Legend Lore. And Yolande's Regal Presence. Take a look at those spell descriptions. They're pretty useful. They'll always be prepared, and they won't count against the ones you yourself may prepare, because you only have a certain amount. Level 3, you also get Peerless Athlete. As a bonus action, you can expend 1 use of your Channel Divinity. For 1 hour, you have advantage on Strength Athletics and Dexterity Acrobatics checks, and the distance of your long and high jumps increases by 10 feet. Let's talk about those jumps. A long jump is a distance covered horizontally with a running start. So if you use 10 feet of movement as the running start, you're able to jump a distance that is equal to your strength score, not the modifier, the score. So let's say your score is 16. If you move at least 10 feet, you can jump 16 feet across. Now, we know in battle maps, it's usually measured by 5 or 10 feet increments. So at 16 feet, I would just call it 15 feet. So this is saying with Peerless Athlete, that jump increases by 10 feet. So if you were good at 15 feet, you're good at 25 feet with Peerless Athlete. High jumps are a little bit different. You can do a running high jump, still going to cost you 10 feet as the running start. But on a high jump, it doesn't go by your strength score. It goes by your strength modifier. So if your modifier is a +4, you can jump 3 plus 4 feet. That's 7 feet. I'm either going to lower that to 5 feet or increase it up to 10 for the sake of our maps and how they work. But remember, this feature is adding 10 feet to that. So let's say you could only jump 5 feet high. This is now saying 10 feet high. It's still going to cost you 10 feet of movement plus the 10 feet running head start, right? Or you can do a standing high jump. Whatever your long jump calculation was, half it. That's what you can do on a standing high jump. Okay, let's move on to level 7, your Aura of Alacrity. Your speed increases by 10 feet. So while it was part of a feature in level 3, it's a permanent in level 7. In addition, whenever an ally enters your Aura of Protection for the first time or starts their turn there, their speed's going to increase by 10 feet until the end of their next turn. So even if they're just passing through the aura, they're going to pick up speed. So it's like your gravity's just whipping them around. At level 15, you get Glorious Defense. When you or another creature you can see within 10 feet of you is hit by an attack roll, you can use a reaction to grant a bonus to that target's AC, their armor class, against the attack, potentially causing it to miss instead. That bonus is going to be equal to your Charisma modifier. If the attack misses, success, right? You can also make one attack against the attacker as part of that reaction if the attacker is within your weapon's range. I love that. It's like smacking somebody around for even thinking. They're effing around and finding out. You can use this number of times equal to your charisma modifier, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. At level 20, you are Living Legend. As a bonus action, you gain the following benefits for 10 minutes. Once you use this feature again, you can't use it until you finish a long rest, or you can replenish it by burning a level 5 spell slot. The benefits are charismatic. You have advantage on all charisma checks. Saving throw reroll. If you fail a saving throw, you can take a reaction to reroll it, but you must use the new roll. Unerring strike. Once on each of your turns, when you make an attack roll with the weapon and you miss, you just cause it to hit instead. I think a Living Legend could pull that off, don't you think? Okay, let's talk Oath of the Ancients. The Oath of the Ancients is as old as the first elves. They've been around quite a long time. They cherish the light, they love things beautiful, and life giving things of the world and nature is what they cherish above honor, courage, or justice like the other paladins. They often adorn their armor and clothing with images of growing things, leaves, antlers, or flowers, to reflect their commitment to preserving life and light. Your tenets would be to kindle the light of hope. Be that shoulder to cry on, but inspire and give hope. Shelter life. Protect. If someone goes down, run to them immediately. Try to use your lay on hands to heal them. You won't wait. Oh, they're fine. They'll be okay for a round. No. This paladin would run straight to it. Shelter life. Delight in art and laughter. Can't be a brooding, moody Oath of the Ancients paladin. How are you delighting in art and laughter? So these are the things that will help you roleplay this type of paladin and honor your oath lest you break it. At level 3, you gain Nature's Wrath. You can expend a use of your channel divinity to conjure spectral vines around nearby creatures. Each creature of your choice you can see within 15 feet of yourself must succeed on a strength saving throw or have the restrained condition for 1 minute. A restrained creature can repeat the save at the end of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a success. You also gain your Oath of Ancient Spells. Again, these are always going to be prepared and not count against the number you yourself are allowed to prepare, because that is a limited number. At level 3, you get Ensnaring Strike and Speak with Animals. At level 5, it's Misty Step and Moonbeam. At level 9, Plant Growth Protection from Energy. At level 13, Ice Storm and Stone Skin. And level 17, Commune with Nature and Tree Stride. Again, spell descriptions are in the spell description section of your physical book, or you can hover over them in your digital book like mine and read the descriptions of these spells. At level 7, you gain the Aura of Warding. You and your allies that are in your aura are resistant to necrotic, psychic, and radiant damage while in your aura. You, the paladin, your aura is active starting at level 6. It's always on. So the fact that at level 7 you gain 3 resistances is really, really strong. It's almost too strong for level 7. Now, your allies that come in and out of your aura, they gain this benefit while they're in there, but then they lose it. It's pretty balanced once they're away from you. But the fact that you gain these type of resistances is really, really strong, and it continues. At level 15, you gain Undying Sentinel. When you're reduced to 0 hit points and not killed outright, meaning a spell that kills, like power word kill, disintegrate, Or you take so much damage, the total damage is enough to equal your max hit points, you die outright. There are no spell death saving throws. But if you're reduced to 0 hit points and you're not killed outright, you actually drop to 1 hit point instead, and you regain a number of hit points equal to 3 times your Paladin level. Your Paladin level is 15. 3 times that is 45. Plus the 1 you dropped to is 46 hit points just for getting knocked out. It's almost like a quick way to heal, don't you think? If your healing potion is not going to get you 46, taunt the enemy, they knock you out, you pop right back up 46 hit points. Now, that's a cheap way to think about this, but it happens. Once you use this feature, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest. Additionally, you can't be aged magically. Some spells can do that. And you cease visibly aging. So you're just going to look the youthful way you look right now forever. I think that's pretty strong. Okay, you're resistant to 3 damages at level 7, and now you're hard to kill, and you get 46 hit points by dropping to 0. At level 20, you are Elder Champion. As a bonus action, you can imbue your aura of protection, just like the others. Yours is for 1 minute, or until you end these benefits. No action required. You can only use this feature once. You have to replenish it with a long rest, or you can burn a level 5 spell slot to replenish it. Here are the benefits. Diminished Defiance. Enemies in your aura have disadvantage on saving throws against your spells and channel divinity options. You have regeneration. At the start of each of your turns, you gain 10 hit points. Swift spells. Whenever you cast a spell that has a casting time of an action, you can cast it using a bonus action instead. I love that. I love being able to do that and keep my action open to attack and use my weapon or a cantrip, something like that, since I'm using a leveled spell. I love that option here. I also like that this is balanced. The other level 20 options at the boost of the aura of protection, each one of them, that's the feature at level 20, they're 10 minutes. This one's 1 minute. I think with the strength of level 7 and 15 in this subclass, it kind of evens out over here, but it's still wicked strong. Okay, the Oath of Vengeance. This is Batman. Okay, dealing out justice, rooting out evil, righting wrongs, getting rid of the Thieves Guild, overthrowing the tyrant, slaying evil armies that slaughter innocent villagers. This is the combat-focused subclass, and your tenets for roleplay should be show the wicked no mercy. None. Fight injustice and its causes. If you see something, do something. You don't even need to say anything. Fight injustice and its causes. Aid those harmed by injustice. You don't need to know them. If somebody was affected negatively in an unjust way, go after them. That's what you do, lest you break your oath. At level 3, you gain access to your Oath of Vengeance spells, like Bane and Hunter's Mark. At level 5, it's Hold Person and Misty Step. At level 9, it's Haste and Protection from Energy. Level 13, Banishment and Dimension Door. Level 17, Hold Monster and Scrying. You also get your Vow of Enmity. When you take the attack action, you can expend a use of your Channel Divinity to utter a vow of enmity against your enemy that you can see within 30 feet of yourself. It's going to give you advantage on attack rolls against that creature for 1 minute or until you use this feature again. To have advantage on attack rolls, by taking this Vow of Enmity, starting at level 3 and throughout my adventuring career, anytime I can get advantage, I will love it. Level 7, you have Relentless Avenger. When you hit a creature with an opportunity attack, you can reduce the creature's speed to 0 until the end of the current turn. You can then move up to half your speed as part of the same reaction, and that movement does not provoke opportunity attacks. Hit and run, baby. At level 15, you get Soul of Vengeance. Immediately after a creature is under the effect of your Vow of Enmity, hits or misses with an attack roll, you can take a reaction to make a melee attack against that creature if it's within range. So as long as you're out of Vow of Enmity on them, hit or miss against you, you're smacking them anyway with your reaction. I love it. It's another attack, right? At level 20, you get Avenging Angel. As a bonus action, you gain the following benefits for 10 minutes or until you end them. No action required. Once you use this, can't use it again until you finish a long rest, or you burn a 5th level spell slot. Here's what you get. Flight. You sprout spectral wings on your back and have a fly speed of 60 feet and can hover. I would always be hovering. Now, difficult terrain on the ground is not going to stop me. Frightful Aura. Whenever an enemy starts its turn in your aura of protection, that creature must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or have the frightened condition for 1 minute or until it takes damage. If you decide to attack it, the attack rolls on that frightened creature will have advantage. Now remember, if it takes damage, you're going to snap them out of the frightened condition, but I'll take that to set myself up with advantage. And remember, at level 20, your aura of protection isn't 10 feet anymore, it's 30 feet. So if an enemy is coming anywhere near you, this would kick in. It's a really strong subclass. I think they're all pretty good. I think Oath of the Ancients might be the strongest in my opinion, but they're all fun to play. I love Paladins myself. If you haven't done so already, please like this video. We'd like to get these videos in front of an audience that are interested in a new opinion on D&D related topics and people who are learning to play. Also, check out our Talking Class playlist to see all the benefits you get for all the classes levels 1 through 20 and a separate video for their subclasses just like this one. Have fun building your Paladin, and we'll see you at the table.